Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Saturday, August 3rd, 2019. The main fire potential impacts for the next couple of days include continued showers and thunderstorms over much of Utah today. These thunderstorms will be isolated and mainly centered over the higher elevations, but we could see some thunderstorms pop up over some of the lower elevations as well. More of that is expected in Utah tomorrow, but we'll also see some storms move up into eastern Idaho and western Wyoming, and those may be more of a mix of wet and dry. On Monday, some thunderstorms will linger in eastern Idaho and also eastern Utah. I'm not really expecting any strong winds for the next couple of days, but hot temperatures will persist with low relative humidities across the western portions of the Great Basin. Yesterday, we saw a pretty good amount of thunderstorm activity over the central Idaho mountains, and then there across the Arizona Strip and up into the higher elevations of southern Utah. New fires did pop up out of that lightning activity in the central Idaho mountains, but it appears that the initial attack efforts were successful. Current ERCs are shown here, are still showing below normal fire danger values for much of the geographic area. The central Idaho mountains are probably seeing the highest ERC values compared to normal. Taking a closer look here for the Payette, we can see those values are sitting right around normal for the time of year, which right now is kind of the leading up to the peak fire season for them, so those values are generally high. Further south, across southern Nevada, those areas have been on the dry side, and so we're seeing those values bumping up against the historical maximums for the time of year. This morning's satellite imagery shows the area of high pressure located over the Four Corners region. That's allowing moisture to move back up into mainly Utah and eastern Idaho today. So for today, again, looking for that moisture, mainly developing thunderstorms over the higher elevations of Utah and possibly spreading out into some of the nearby valleys. But Nevada and much of Idaho is going to be on the dry side today. Again, looking for that extent of coverage of thunderstorms today, and these will generally be kind of on the isolated side, except maybe a little bit more widespread over the higher elevations. And minimum relative humidities are in the single digits for much of western Nevada. On Sunday, that moisture will continue to move northward, and we'll see an increase in thunderstorm activity over eastern Idaho and western Wyoming, with some lingering thunderstorms possible over Utah as well. Western Nevada remains dry. On Sunday, we'll see a better chance for some wetter thunderstorms over the higher elevations of Utah and continue to see that moisture move further northward into eastern Idaho and western Wyoming, with continued dry air over western Nevada. On Monday, thunderstorm coverage should decrease a little bit over Utah and Idaho, although some lingering isolated thunderstorms are possible across southern Idaho. Again, looking at that general decrease in wetting thunderstorms. 3-day precipitation totals are shown here. The bulk of the precip is going to come to the higher elevations of Utah and up into western Wyoming over the next couple of days. On Tuesday, we'll see more moisture continue to move up into the Great Basin underneath that ridge. And Wednesday looks like a little bit of a more critical day, as we could see some thunderstorms move into portions of western Nevada and western Idaho, where conditions are on the drier side. So we'll be watching this closely to see if we'll be putting out any high-risk triggers for the lightning on Wednesday. By Thursday, that moisture moves off pretty quickly to the north and the east for drying air moving back into the western Great Basin. And that dry air continues on Friday. We could see some gusty winds also move into the western half of the Great Basin ahead of a little trough moving into the Pacific Northwest. The 7-day precip totals are shown here. They don't vary too much from the 3-day, with the heaviest precip coming in the short term. But we could see some more moisture moving up into the central Idaho mountains and west central Idaho mountains by midweek next week. The extended forecast from the Climate Prediction Center for August 10th through the 16th is calling for above normal temperatures across the south and west and below normal temperatures over the north and east, and a general drying trend across the geographic area. This concludes today's briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.